Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Another quick game of Interplanetary I Spy going on here. Back to Ceres, Dawn mission. Now, we have a couple of images to look at here. We have this one, which is PIA 20386, and we also have this one, which is PIA 2313. Now, first we're going to have a look at this, because this is the more interesting one, I think, because this seems to show what looks like some kind of alien base in the crater. Now, I'll have links to these pages so you can read up on this. I'm just going to give you a quick overview here. I've highlighted the text. This is Juling Crater, Juling. It's 12 miles in diameter, 20 kilometers, and very interesting, this one. It was taken back in January the 4th, so about a month, nearly 2 months ago now, and each pixel represents 42 meters, which is quite amazing, really. So it's quite a large crater, this one. So let's crack on with it. I don't want to take too long with this one. Right, okay, we have here, we have the images. I've already taken some clips of these images, and first of all I'll show you the raw image. This is how it comes, and doesn't look much when you look at it from this angle. You can see that there's something interesting here in this crater, but it doesn't make a lot of sense until you flip the image round a bit. You've got to kind of flip it round. So that's what I did. I turned it round and cropped it. Now this is a raw crop, turned round, and I've sort of straightened it out a bit. And you can see there's something interesting going on here. There's something interesting here, over here, here, in this area. There's a sort of rectangular structure, and there's some other interesting structures up here and up here as well. So let me show you the enhancement. I'm not going to spend too long on this. I'll put clips of these in at the end anyway, so you can have a proper look, and you can pause and take a screenshot or whatever you want to do. First of all, I'll show you, well, what I'll do actually, I'll show you the main enhancement I've done, which I've actually really upped to the contrast on this, and I've given it a blue filter because I just think it looks better. You can actually see the detail better for some reason. And there we go. I mean, first of all, up here we have a very straight structure here. Now that may be natural, but it looks very straight. And we have some sort of archway here and some upright columns just here. Is this a building? Could be. At the bottom of the image, right down here, we have some rectangular structures just here, next to this very bright object, whatever that is, just here. And I've gone in quite hard with the contrast here. As you can see, it's gone quite bright. And you can see quite clearly here that there's a rectangular structure here. There's something interesting here, this thing, which seems to have an upright structure here and these rectangular parts to it as well. And this looks like a building here, and another structure here with these interesting column-like structures here, see? And it's got a sort of interesting dome-like roof to it. And there's another interesting one here, which looks like a building, or a couple of very, very large buildings. You know, if they are buildings, these are huge, because this is 12 miles across. So this dome-like structure here, which does look like a dome, with some kind of square structures and possible parts to it here. This is about a mile across. So, I mean, that would go into this crater, you know, if you times it by 12, or approximately 12 times. So this is 1 mile from here to here, approximately. There's also this over here, which is very odd. I've been trying to pull out some detail here, but there seems to be some kind of structure coming off the side of this crater here, and going through like some kind of mechanical object here, almost like some kind of mining equipment or something. And there seems to be pipes coming in and out of each other here, and then coming down to here. And then there's this rather strange looking pipe structure here, which is rectangular. So there is all sorts of stuff going on in this crater. Is it an alien base? Could be. There are lights on Ceres. It looks like a city structure in Occator Crater, which is the one that everyone's been focusing on. But this one was interesting to me. I thought this really does look like some kind of base of some sort. It's on a very large scale, and we're only seeing the larger features. There does seem to be a lot of smaller structures down here in this area, but they are too small to actually see really, but you can tell that there's something rectangular going on here. But this is what caught my eye first, was this kind of right angled corner here, and this long structure leading into this kind of right angled structure here. So is that a building or a massive complex next to another massive complex? It looks like one to me. I mean, I don't think this is pixelation, because this is come from a high quality TIFF image, and in fact I've enlarged it here, but it's not really pixelated at all. In fact, when you zoom in, it doesn't really pixelate, because it's a good high quality image to start with. So it seems to me that we have here what looks like a crater complex, some kind of base. Could be a mining operation, could have been habitation, don't know. Pure speculation, of course, but interesting nonetheless. Okay. Right, we also have this image, which I mentioned earlier. This was actually brought to my attention by one of my subscribers recently. I can't remember who it was now exactly. I do get sent a hell of a lot of stuff every day, so I do apologise if I can't answer all your emails. I get something like 200 or more emails a day, and many of them are people sending stuff in for me to look at, and I really do try to reply if I can, but do bear with me. I will come round to stuff eventually. If I don't do it straight away, I will come to it in a couple of weeks or a month or so. So thank you for sending this in. And this one was the PIA 2313 image. Now, I'm not saying this is an alien base, but it's a very interesting image nonetheless. This was taken back on January the 2nd, so this was only a couple of days before the previous image I showed you. And you can read up on this. It gives you the height and the resolution. 36 meters per pixel, this one. Okay. Now, I've got it up here with the other images that I showed you earlier, which were just here. And what I did, I took the image. This is as the image comes here. Now, straight away, when I saw this, I thought, yes, here we go. In this top left corner here, there's something very odd going on here. Now, the actual explanation on the page is that these are overlapping craters. Okay, that's perfectly feasible. But if you look at the shape of this thing, you've got these rather symmetrical diagonals and straight lines going on here, and a very odd looking crater here. Now, I do appreciate this is multiple craters on top of each other that have overlapped, but I will let you make your own mind up about that. What I did, I flipped the image around here, and then I took a clip of it. But what I'll do is I'll show you the enhancement now, because it's just brighter and easier to see. I've given it a bit of a colour filter just to warm it up as well. And when you look at it this way round, it takes on a very different sort of light, really. And you can see some very straight lines in here. Now, I understand that a lot of this is due to where there's been impacts, and you can get quite straight kind of striations coming out from impact craters. But this was interesting anyway, and it does look kind of artificial, this structure up here, with a perfect sort of curve to it there, and something odd going on here. This was weird. I really don't know what to make of this. It may well be natural, but it's just a very unusual set of structures here that kind of look a bit intelligent, and this one seems to have a nice right angled corner to it here. So we may be looking at very, very ancient structures that are buried or ruined, or this may all just be natural. I couldn't say for sure, but I thought it was worth a look anyway, because I thought you guys might have a different take on it. Leave a comment below if you've got any ideas what this might be. But there are some very interesting features in here, and it does seem very symmetrical, some of this stuff. You have a nice triangular shape here, and you've got this really nice kind of right angle corner here, and there's some crazy stuff here. And is it artificial? Don't know. Probably it may not be, but when you take into account the other things that we have seen on the Ceres so far, these structures need to be looked at in a different way, and there is a possibility that some of these may well be alien intelligent structures that are probably millions or even billions of years old. So, you know, it's important to look at these things with an open mind, because our very survival may depend on it one day. There's no good coming to this channel and saying that it's all fake or it's all just made up. It's not made up. This is down to interpretation, and I like to do it in an open and honest way. All my videos are public domain. All the images that I use are free to download, so it can all be checked and cross-referenced. So this may just be a case of natural structures overlapping, making some interesting symmetrical shapes like this triangle and this square here. So who knows? But the other one, as I showed you earlier, I really do think is artificial. At least some of these structures are in here. This part, this dome structure here, with a kind of little square bit on top of it as well. And you've got some crazy, weird sort of archway to a sort of building here. And there's multiple structures at the bottom here, which are a little bit too small to make out. But this, to me, reeks of alien intelligence. And when you see symmetrical structures, right angles, it says that there's something going on here. And Mother Nature does not do right angles. Mother Nature can do straight lines, but not very straight lines. They're never quite straight. These are perfectly straight lines in here. These columns and upright sections here, and these roof parts. There's a nice right angle part to it there. So is this an alien base? It looks like one to me. There may well be some kind of mining operation going on here, or there may be water or some other elements that are being extracted, like helium-3, which is what we're going to be taking from our moon. It could be very similar on Ceres. It does look very similar to our moon in some ways. So there we go. Is this an alien base? Are these multiple alien domes and structures here? It looks like it to me, and that bright spot is very odd. There's something very strange going on down here. These look like buildings. I will do a couple more enhancements of this and stick them in at the end. I'll really push the contrast even harder and see if I can bring out some of these structures down here, because there's definitely something going on, and we shall see. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you soon.